definitely didn't mess up the transition there. Hello everyone, welcome along to Season 2 announcements. Season 2 of the Sim Rally Masters. Hard to believe that it's been 5 months since we announced Season 1. And I must be honest, for Season 1 I was extremely nervous about that because we were turning the whole thing upside down. We were reinventing the wheel, I guess, to a degree, in Sim Rally and in Crest Autosport history. But this time around, I'm really looking forward to this, actually, because I just know for a fact that everyone's going to quite like what they see here. So, yeah, we're going to go through what's in store for Season 2, when it's going to be hosted, what's going to be hosted, a couple of changes we're going to have to the Masters as well, because we did some new things in Season 1. There's some things that are returning, some things that are not, and there's also some brand new features that we're bringing to Season 2. So before we get going, hello to our chatters. Vaha, hello again. Marco, Alan, Steve, and Dennis. I haven't quite learnt everyone's aliases to their real names yet. But yeah, hello guys. Anyone else that's watching, let us know in the chat you are watching and where you're watching from. Okay, yeah, so already been through the format for tonight, so let's just set the scene a little bit. The whole purpose of us setting up the Sim Rally Masters was to take a bit more of a historic approach to what we were hosting. And obviously in Season 1 we hosted WRC 1997 to 2003. We're doing something different this time around, which you'll probably be glad to hear. But the whole premise of this Rally Masters is to call back to the greatest eras of rallying, from the 90s to the 80s, WRC, ERC, BRC, what's America, ARA, is it? Yeah. We want to call to sort of every more notable era and great competitions there are in rallying. We don't really want to leave anything behind whilst we're hosting this. This time around we're taking a more of a modern approach than a historic approach, so spoiler alert there. Right, okay, so let's get into it. A few more chatters. Hello Sammy, hello Sam, hello SRC Vonsky. I can't remember who you are, I'm afraid. And just to let you know, guys, this will be on Twitch for another 2 weeks because of their rules, but I will upload it to YouTube as well, so you can go back and watch it if you need to. Okay, so Season 2. These are the dates for Season 2. We're going to start there, so you can kind of get an idea of when it starts, when it ends. We're starting on the 31st of July, and we'll be ending late November. It'll be a 12-round season, and we'll be doing a similar format to this season where it'll be 2 rounds on, 1 round off, or 2 weeks on a rally and 1 week off a rally. So 2 gap, 2 gap, 2 gap. It's going to work exactly the same way next season as it has this season, but they're the dates, and obviously we'll tell you what rallies they're going to be very, very shortly. Okay. Right, let's move on to the next bit. Of course, there's some pre-season stuff as well with Season 2, and this is when all of that is going to take place. Entries open for Season 2 will be on the 15th of May, which is in about 3 weeks' time. So it gives you guys time to have a look at what we're hosting and kind of decide what route you want to take with this. There will be an entry deadline for the 29th of June. We will allow people to sign up late, but we want people to get their entries in by then, because it will give us a good idea of how many is going to take part, but also there are some limitations as well, so it'll be a little bit of a first come first serve basis with some elements of this, or will become clear later. We're going to have a combine, which that's what I'm calling it now. last season it was referred to as the qualifiers. You can call it qualifiers, you can call it a combine. It doesn't really matter which one you call it. But we're following a bit of the Americanisms there with that, with drafts, trades, etc. But yeah, there'll be 2 qualifiers, same as there were last season. That's to establish what categories you guys will go into, unless categories are decided for you. It'll also decide your ranks. So last season we sorted you into ranks based on your performance in those qualifiers. We'll be doing the same again. It'll be a gravel qualifier in week 1 and a tarmac one in week 2, and I believe it'll be Portugal for gravel and it'll be Croatia for tarmac. Croatia's a good neutral ground, and Portugal has become that recently as well. There'll be a draft day as well, so similar to what we did last season, where we put people into specific cars and specific teams and specific liveries, that sort of thing. We'll be doing the same again this season, and that'll be on the 14th of July, on a Monday. And then straight after that, there'll be a trade week, so if you're not a fan of the car you're in, you have the opportunity during that week to trade it with another driver. And then round 1 kicks off at the 31st of July. Nice and easy, isn't it? Okay. So, the big reveal is we're going to be doing 2 championships. I guess we kind of did with Season 1 with Kit Cars and WRC. But, yeah, this season there's going to be 2 actual individual championships. So, Championship 1 will be quite an open championship, and the target for that one is sim rally teams. So if you're in a sim rally team like Crest Autosport, like EXR, Stage Fright, in Speed We Trust, many other teams I haven't named, but if you're in one of those teams, Championship 1 will be quite suited to you. And there'll be another Championship 2, which will reveal the names of them, proper names of them, and what they're doing later. But Championship 2 will be quite like Season 1, where we're going to be placing drivers into specific cars to represent certain drivers. It was a bit of debate behind the scenes of what kind of route we want to go down, and the DLC that came out in the past helped decide what kind of route we want to go down as well. So all of that was considered. Both championships will run side by side with one another. They'll be hosted on the same weeks. So a 2 weeks on, 1 week off format. That's same as Season 1. But the caveat is you will only be allowed to take part in one championship. You will not be allowed to take part in both. Okay? So this will make more sense later when we reveal what's going on. There'll be 3 servers next season. The first 2, which are the ones that are already existing, they'll be used for Championship 1. And we'll open up a new one for the second championship. Similar to this season, rallies will take around about an hour to 2 hours to complete. We like the length of the rallies we've hosted this season, so we're going to do much the same, and they're going to be around about, they're going to be between 7 stages in length and 10 stages in length. We find that's a good amount for the kind of format we're doing. And the rallies can be in from as few as 80 kilometres in length to as many as 140 kilometres. It just depends on what kind of location or the difficulty or how much of an endurance the rally is in real life. Some of the features that will be returning to the Masters that will be carrying over from last season or the current season to the next season. We will continue to alternate between normal damage and hardcore damage. That's something that's worked quite well this season. Not all rallies need to be hard, so to elevate the difficulty of some rallies we'll be using hardcore damage, but then normal damage for ones that are a bit more tame, I suppose. Roadside repairs is a feature that wasn't actually that popular this season, so they'll be featuring a little less. It'll be much more service intervals rather than you can repair your car after every stage. We'll be doing that a lot less in this new season. And road sweeping will return. I felt it's been quite cool this season. Me and Marco were a bit nervous about it at first when we first implemented it, but it's worked well. So we're going to be returning road sweeping. I'm sure a couple of people are probably frustrated about that because they're the ones that have fallen foul to it. But yep, that's some of the returning stuff for next season. There'll be 4 categories next season. We're not going to do any more. We're not going to do any less. It'll be CA1 to CA4. So the more experienced drivers will be in CA1, and the lesser experienced drivers will be in CA4. There'll be a drop round again, so if you need to go on holiday or anything like that, particularly as this is partly in the summer, there'll be a drop round to allow you to miss a round. And we'll be continuing to do promotions and relegations between categories. And I say this is a returning feature, but Sim Rally Teams is something that we did quite well in previous seasons, particularly the World Sim Rally Championship. They're going to be returning for this season. So if you've got a Sim Rally team, you can get involved, basically. We didn't have that in Season 1, but it will be returning for this season. And we'll explain how shortly. A bit more. Some new things that are going to be brought in for this season that are general across the board. Shakedowns are going to return, and they'll be hosted on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We're also bringing back power stages, so bonus points for being in the top X or top N for the final stage of a rally. And super power stages will be returning. I know a couple of you would be like, what on earth is that? The last time we ran a super power stage format, it's something we've made up, but we're bringing it back. The last time we used it was in 2021, I think. It was in the Dirt Rally 2 days. But basically a super power stage is multiple power stages. So you'll do the same run of a stage, potentially, and the 2 times will be added together to make your super power stage time. So same as power stages, you get bonus points, but it's more than one stage, effectively. That's going to be returning. The last time we had that, as I mentioned, was the European Sim Rally Championship 2021. And we thought we'd bring it back, because we liked it. Okay. Something that's worth mentioning at this point, actually, is the way we're going to be hosting things. It's going to require Discord a little bit more. Facebook groups are becoming less and less accessible, I would say, and less used, actually. So we are going to be slowly filtering stuff over to Discord, because it's a much more friendly platform for us to use to host our championships. And just something I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck on a bit of music. There we go. Just to fill out the background a bit. Yeah, Discord will become mandatory. Anyone who signs up to our series will need to be part of Discord. Yeah, so if you're watching on Twitch, you can actually put !Discord into our chat, and it will give you a link to our server. I imagine a lot of you are already part of our server, though, so we'll see. But yeah, that's something that's going to become mandatory going forward. Okay, right. There you go, it worked. Okay, right. So, without further ado, we're going to reveal what we're doing. Enough of the chit-chat. I just have to remember what layer it is that I have to show. Make sure it's the right one. Okay. So, Season 2 of the Sim Rally Masters is going to be double championship format. We'll start with the left side. Our championship 1 is going to be a return of the European Sim Rally Championship, and this is going to be a replica of the last 10 years, or the best of the European Rally Championship. It's going to use some of the more notable locations from that era. Such you can see in there, such as the Yana Rally, Roma, Faf, Estonia, Czech, Cyprus, Canaries Rally, the Azores Rally, all the legendary locations from the European Rally Championship over the last couple of years, and they're placed together into a 12-round calendar. The cars you can use for the European Sim Rally Championship will be WRC 2 or Rally 2. So you mentioned, we remember earlier we mentioned there's going to be 2 servers. One's going to be for WRC 2, and the other is going to be for Rally 2. We'll go into more detail about the European Sim Rally Championship next. But just to introduce the other part of it, the World Sim Rally Championship, which will use the World Rally cars of 2017 to 2021. Fantastic era for WRC, in my opinion. When it comes to cars, anyway, those cars were just amazing to watch, even in real life. So, it's going to host legendary rallies from that era that are more synonymous rallies from that era, such as your Monte Carlo, Sweden, Sardinia, Deutschland, or a rendition of Deutschland, Turkey, etc., etc. Obviously, these locations are not in the game, so we'll use locations that are in-game to represent those rallies. So, for example, Deutschland will use Central Europe, Turkey, we're going to use Greece, and on the other side of it, Hungary, we're going to use Kenya, Roma, we're going to use Mediterranean, Cyprus, we're going to use Greece. So we'll go into that a little bit more detail very shortly. So we're going to start with talking through the European Sim Rally Championship in a little bit more detail. So let's head over to there now. Okay, so... Oh, wrong layer. There you go. Right, so, yeah, you heard me mention that we're going to be using WRC 2 cars and Rally 2 cars. So there they are on the screen there. They're the cars that we're going to be allowing to use. So the first thing you're probably going to notice is in the WRC 2 category, the Toyota isn't there, and also the RS Fabia. The reason we've not put the Toyota in there is because everyone's going to want to drive the Toyota. So we figured we'd have a diverse grid with, you know, plenty of variance in the cars. Daniel will answer that question very shortly. We will get to that, but kind of, yes. And the Rally 2 cars, the Peugeot's going to be in there, the Fabia Evo, so there's going to be an Evo in the Rally 2 and the WRC 2 classes, and the Ford Fiesta R5, which is older than the WRC 2 version, I believe, and the Volkswagen Polo. But yeah, Citroen C3, Volkswagen Polo from both classes, Skoda Fabia Evo from both categories, Ford Fiesta, both categories, and the Hyundai i20. So 9 cars will be available in the ESRC. And we'll get to how the draft works with this very, very shortly. There's the dates, a reminder of them. Same as what they were on the poster. So we're going to start off the season doing a rendition of the Jana Rally, which is going to use the Monte Carlo location. It might be a winter rally, as when they hosted that in the past, it was very icy. So we might do the same. We might not. But that's going to open the season for our R5 contestants. And then round 2 is going to go to the Latvia Rally. Very fast gravel rally, previously won by Martin Sesks and Oliver Solberg, very popular figures in rallying at the moment. Round 3 will be hosted at Hungary, which its latest version in the European Sim Rally Championship is a gravel rally. They've hosted tarmac in the past, but we'll be replicating the gravel rally, and we're going to be using Kenya for that. And everyone, it might be a bit of an odd one, but the reason we're doing that is because there's a lot of kind of long straight roads with like 90-degree corners and that sort of thing, which the Kenya stages are going to be quite like. And it's a very rough and dusty rally. So we've put Kenya in as a best fit, in our opinion. Round 4 will be Roma Capitale, I think that's how you say it, and that will use the Mediterraneo location, you know, with the ravines and the picturesque locations. It's going to be quite a good representant of that. Serra Stafaf, you guessed it, it's going to be the Portugal stages to host that one. So some very dusty, exciting jumps on there, some great stages in the FAF rally. Ceredigion, Welsh Rally, so home rally for me, pretty much, up by the Aberystwyth region in mid Wales. But we will be using I forgot now. Croatia for that one. That's it. Yeah. So tarmac rally, fast tarmac rally that winds down through the hills and forestry sides to the roads, that sort of thing. Real cool rally, Ceredigion is. It'll probably end up on WRC one day, in my opinion. That'll be halfway through the season. And then we'll go to Estonia, your home rally, Vaha. Finally. Yep, the fastest rally in the game will host round 7 of the championship. And then over to another fast rally, but on tarmac. So Barem Czech will use the Central Europe rally location. Fast rally with variable weather. And it's probably the rally that's been in the European Rally Championship probably the longest. And still going, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think that is based on my ERC knowledge. Round 9 will be hosted at Cyprus. This fell off the calendar after COVID. Well, because of COVID, unfortunately. But the Cyprus rally was in WRC, and it was a nightmare of a rally. And that means we're doing the same. Rough rally, tight, twisty, slow roads, and a bit of a car killer. So that'll use Greece as the game location. Round 10, Poland, another really fast rally, but a very, very good rally in my opinion. Variable weather, fast roads, lots of jumps as well. And obviously we'll be using the game location Poland for that one, you guessed it. And then the final 2 rounds of the championship in November, 11 will be hosting the Islas Canarias rally. And that will use Iberia as the location. And of course that's in WRC next week. So it will be interesting to see that in full flow, but it's hosted the ERC for many, many years, so it should be fun. And the Azores Rally will finish the season, and that'll be using the Oceania location in the game. Small volcanic islands with nice, fast, flowing roads. A little bit similar to Oceania, probably more similar to New Zealand from Dirt Rally 2, but Oceania is a good representant for Azores. So that's the calendar and the rallies that we'll be doing for ESRC. Now, to get into the question about teams and cars and that sort of thing. So this will be the championship where we welcome back the Sim Rally teams. So if you're in a Sim Rally team like Crest Autosport, SFR, EXR, etc., etc., the ESRC will be your chance to get involved as a team again. So to work together, drive the same car, and be the best team in Sim Rally, effectively. But the way it's going to work with this championship is the qualifiers are going to take place, and we'll use the qualifiers to rank each team. So of drivers representing each team as a collective, your collective performance as a team will decide your rank in the championship. And effectively what we'll do with those ranks is we'll assign you a car from them. But the assignment of the car is going to be from a spin the wheel draw. So we're going to do a live stream on draft day, and each team will be placed in order. And the team who performed best in the qualifiers will be the first to go into the spin the wheel draw. Okay, so all the cars will be in the wheel, and then we'll pick out rank number 1, the team rank number 1. We'll spin the wheel, and whatever that lands on, that team is going to drive for the season. And then we'll go through team 2, they'll drive the next car, and each time we get, each time the wheel lands on a car, that car disappears. So, yes, so let's say Crest Autosport were the first team on there, right? So they'll be the first to spin the wheel, and let's say it lands on the Citroen C3. Let's just say it lands on that. Then the Citroen C3 will be taken out, and then the remaining 8 cars will be there for the next 8 teams. When it gets to the end of the car, when it gets to the end of the wheel and all of them have disappeared, if there's more than 9 teams, it means that the cars will loop. So whatever car was at rank 1 will be team number 10's car. And privateers will have a similar treatment. So whatever the order of the car draw is for the 9 cars that get drawn, the privateers in order of rank will have the same allotment of cars, basically. So if the Citroen C3 is picked out as the first team car, it'll be privateer drivers rank number 1. It'll be their car for the season. I'll probably explain this a little bit more a little bit later on. I'll probably illustrate it a bit better as well. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to be assigning teams and drivers their cars from a spin the wheel. So rather than, you know, doing it by the drivers thing we did last season, it's going to be more randomized. We'll explain a bit more about that a little bit later on. But a little bit about teams, Sim Rally teams, that is. You'll be limited to 6 drivers. So if you have more than 6 drivers, you'll have to consider 2 teams or more. And you must have a minimum of 4 drivers to be eligible as a team. For each rally, 4 drivers will have to start the rally. So if your team turns up to the rally and only 3 have started the rally, your team will not score points. So it's 4, 5 or 6 drivers that each team must have every rally. Points for each team will be based on drivers' overall position in the rally. So your category points won't be what contributes to your team. It will. This happened last time. I got a sore throat last time as well. Yeah. Overall position in the rally. So if you finished first overall in the rally, you score the most points in the rally. If you finished 50th overall in the rally, you score the amount of points eligible for 50th in the rally. Reserve drivers will not be allowed, so swapping and changing drivers like teams have been able to do in previous seasons with us, that won't be allowed this season. But you will be allowed to permanently replace drivers if you want to. So if a driver has to leave for any reason, you can replace them, but that driver cannot return to the team at a later point. Okay. I think this explains a bit more about the car draw. Yeah, so what I was just saying, yeah. So this applies to privateers, but this also applies to teams. So whatever... We'll sort you into ranks, and that's what order you get put into the wheel, basically. And whatever the wheel lands on first, rank number 1 gets. And it runs down and down, and as you can see from rank 10, it then loops. So that's the way it will kind of work. Well, that's the way it will work with teams and also privateers. Privateers will get the same car draw as the teams get. Hopefully that kind of explains it a bit better. Okay, so a bit more. We mentioned earlier about super power stages. The European Sim Rally Championship will use the super power stages. Basically, that's multiple stages. It can be as few as 2. It can be as many power stages as we want, really. But all of them will be added together to make one super power stage time. And that's what decides your bonus points. I said that, yeah, it says there, 2 to 4 stages can be used as super power stages. The top 10 in each category will score points for the super power stage. And the reason it's top 10 and not top 5 is because we're expecting bigger grids for ESRC. So more drivers will be able to score points. And speaking of points, this is how the points will work for ESRC. It's basically double the standard format for points in WRC and Formula 1, I suppose. The FIA standard of scoring. So, first place gets 50 points, but it goes down as far as 20. So, the top 20 in each category will score points. And the top 10 in the power stages, or the super power stages, will score 1 to 10 points. Okay, right. I'm going to open the floor for questions in the comments, and they're probably going to be in the realm of asking about teams, potentially. But if anyone has any questions, now's the time to ask before we move on to the WSRC. But yeah, it's good to welcome back Sim Rally teams, because a lot of people did quite miss them, actually, and so did we. Actually. It gives people a better opportunity to use the same car and work together a little bit more, but it also allows privateers to get involved as well. Right. If a team has less than 4 starters. If you have less than 4 people in a team, you are not an official team in the championship. No. You will be declared as a privateer. Each of your drivers will be declared as privateer. So you need 4 at least. And that's for each rally. Right. I'll see if I can explain the assignment of cars a little bit better. It will require a spreadsheet, though, as you know me. Right, okay. Yeah, so teams, you'll need 4 to 6 drivers, and if you've got a team of more than 6 drivers, 8 upwards, basically, you'll need to split into multiple teams. Crest Autosport has done that in the past, so have other teams have done that as well. Simrace Evo, I think, have done that. AZR Motorsport did that last season as well. Right, okay. So I'm just going to get... Right, there we go. Okay. So it's a little bit scruffy, I understand, right? But they're the cars that are available for the season, right? Let me just make this a little bit bigger. There you go. So they're the cars that are available for the season, right? And they'll be put into a wheel, okay? So let's just say these are the teams, right? Let's just say they're the teams, right? Let's say, well, they probably would be. EXR are rank 1. Let's say VBR are rank 2. Let's say Stage Fright are rank 3. And let's say us lot are the worst team, rank 4, right? So that means that EXR will get the wheel spun first, right? So the wheel spins and it lands on the Hyundai i20, okay? So EXR get the Hyundai i20. That removes the Hyundai i20 from the wheel. Wheel spins again, but this one's for VBR because they're second in there. Okay, VBR land... Shut up, Thomas. VBR land on Citroen C3. So that gets rid of the C3 from the wheel. And then these are the next cars remaining. Stage Fright, they land... Well, let's give them the Peugeot. That takes the Peugeot out of the wheel. Okay. And then Crest Autosport, let's give us the worst car. Volkswagen Polo. That takes that out. And it runs on and on like that. Okay. I hope that explains it a little bit better. But yeah, based on how those cars are drawn as well, that's the order they'll be given to the privateers as well. Right, okay. Let's move on. Let's move on from that very, very professional and very political segment there. Right, okay. So, a little bit of a recap before we continue. European Sim Rally Championship is our first championship of the bunch. Or of the 2, that is. 2 servers, one for WRC2 and one for Rally 2. It's, as we mentioned, it's very much designed for teams to take part and privateers. But we have also got another championship on the side for those drivers that preferred the Masters kind of format. Okay, so we'll publish these pictures after the stream, and you'll be able to see or come back to them at a later date. Okay, right. Let's move on to the World Sim Rally Championship now. So here's a reminder of it. It's very, very identical calendar to WRC from that era. Monte Carlo, Sweden, etc., etc. It's a separate championship, and you will have to choose between doing the European Sim Rally Championship and doing the World Sim Rally Championship. You won't be able to do both. Okay, so these are the cars that will be used. The Citroen C3 WRC, the Ford Fiesta WRC, the Hyundai i20 and the Volkswagen Polo. Unfortunately, we didn't get the Yaris. But they're the 4 cars that we will be using. Of course, the Polo was a car not actually used in 2017, but it was built and it was tested and it was going to run in WRC, but then Dieselgate happened. So that put a stop to that. But yes, 4 fabulous cars to drive in EA Sports WRC. This is the calendar. We start off in Monte Carlo, which will be run at Monte Carlo, of course. Sweden for round 2. Then we'll be at Mexico for round 3. Corsica, using Mediterraneo as the location, will be round 4. Portugal will be round 5. Sardinia in Italy, round 6. Finland, round 7. Germany will be round 8, and we'll be using the Central Europe Rally. Turkey will host round 9, and we'll be using Greece to represent that one. Great Britain or Wales for round 10, and we'll be using Poland for that rally. Round 11 will be Spain, using the Iberia location, and Australia will be last, using the Oceania location. You'll notice what we've done as well. I'll pull the picture back up later, but what we've tried to do is synchronize the locations, the game locations, as much as we possibly could with these 2 championships. So Monte Carlo is round 1 for this, but Jana using Monte Carlo is round 1 for the European. That's what we've tried to do a little bit, just to marry them up a little bit. Like I mentioned earlier, the World Sim Rally Championship will be similar to that of Season 1, where we have a bunch of drivers that people can represent. They'll use their liveries, like the one we can see in the background there. And we'll assign you to those cars based on your ranking in the qualifiers. So yeah, drivers will need to compete in the qualifiers to decide their rank within the category. Some drivers, as we mentioned, will already have categories, but your ranking in the category will still be based on the qualifiers. Based on those rankings, we'll assign you which driver, and it'll be the best drivers go into the top seats, like the Sebastian Ogiers and your Oit Tanex and that sort of thing. We'll go through them very shortly. You'll be assigned to a real life driver, where you will need to use the car assigned to you and a livery. And of course, the real life drivers have been ranked based on their achievements in real life in that 2017 to 2021 period, just like what we did with 1997 to 2003. Each category is going to contain 12 drivers, and something I don't think I put in the notes here, but it's worth mentioning that there's going to be a hard limit in this championship of 48 drivers. They're all the seats that's going to be available. We will be prioritizing drivers who have actively been actively competing in the current season of the Sim Rally Masters. If any of you guys who've taken part in the majority of Season 1 want to do this, you'll get first right to take part. Okay. So these are the drivers and the cars that we will be... Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll get to this in a sec. I'll answer your question now then. Okay, so I've got a question about ERC Championship. If one of the drivers for the teams fails to complete the qualifying rounds, is he not allowed entry, or just has no impact on the team rankings? Yeah, we'll have no impact on the team rankings. It will affect your team's performance. It'll be the top 4 performance of each team, not all 6, if there are a team of 6. But if you have 3, it's going to affect your ranking in the in your position in the draw, basically. So yeah, good question, but that's how we'll be doing it. Okay, so for the World Sim Rally Championship, the drivers that would be available to represent are Sebastian Ogier in the Volkswagen Polo. It's not what he drove at the time, no, but he probably would have if Volkswagen stayed in the championship. So yeah, that's a different language, Ranger. Yeah, so Sebastian Ogier in the Volkswagen Polo will be seed number 1. Number 2, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you the stats. I'll tell you the stats that go with it. Ogier, he's rank 1 because he won 4 championships in that era. Only one he didn't win. He had 16 wins, 19 podiums, 17 points finishes, and 4 championships outside the era. All of them contributed points that totaled up to him getting rank number 1. Oyt Tanak is number 2, and we'll be putting him in the Ford Fiesta, the one he drove in 2017. He won 1 championship in this era, which was in 2019 with the Toyota. In that 5-year gap period, he won 15 rallies and 16 podiums. His sum of points were 221, whereas Ogier's were 392, so a big gap. In rank 3, only 2 points below Thierry Neuville was Thierry Neuville. 13 wins in that era, 18 podiums, 15 points finishes, and 1 championship outside of the era. So he had 219 points. Number 4 on our list is Sebastian Loeb. Didn't do many rallies, but he did good. And of course, he has the 9 championships outside the era, which also gave him lots of points. Loeb had 202 points, 1 win, which was Spain in 2018, 2 podiums, and 6 points finishes. So he didn't do many rallies, but he did good. Elfyn Evans is number 5. I would say Elfyn's career came more to the forefront when he was in Toyota, but he'll be using the Ford Fiesta in this championship. His 2017 DMAC livery. Guess who's going to try and get that seat? In that era, he won 5 rallies. Of course, his famous first win was in the DMAC livery in Wales. 13 podiums and 27 points finishes. 116 points he scored in our points table here. Danny Sordo would be number 6. He's got the number 6 on his car for a lot of this era as well. 2 rally wins, 9 podiums, and 17 points finishes gave him 64 points in our scoring system. 7 will be Jari-Matti Latvala in the Volkswagen Polo. He probably would have driven the Volkswagen in 2017 if it weren't for the Toyota, actually. But because we got no Toyota, we'll give him the next best thing, and that's the Volkswagen. He won 2 rallies in that era, 18 podiums and 17 points finishes, 61 points. Esa-Pekka Lappi, will be putting him in the Ford. He only drove it 1 season, but we needed another Ford driver. That'll use the in-game livery as well for the Ford. He won 1 rally, which was Finland in 2017. He got 6 podiums and 19 points finishes. Chris Meek, or Crash Meek as I call him, is number 9. We'll be putting him in the Citroen C3. He won Mexico and Spain from 2017, I think. So 2 wins, only 2 podiums and 15 points finishes. His WRC career kind of finished after 2019. So yeah, 9th place for him. Craig Breen, rest in peace, mate. But we'll give him the Hyundai i20 with the number 42, the mayor of Bratby. No WRC wins, unfortunately. 6 podiums and 19 points finishes in his career during this period. It got him 37 points. I imagine a lot of people will try and get that seat. 11th will be Andreas Mikkelsen in the Volkswagen Polo, where he drove a lot of his best times in his career, I suppose. No rally wins in this period, but 5 podiums and 17 top 10 finishes. 32 points for him. And Mads Osberg would be the last driver in the Citroen C3. 2 podiums and 10 points finishes at 16 points. We did contemplate other drivers being added to this, but we got a hard limit of 12 per category. But we might look into swapping drivers in and out if it suits the driver that will be in that seat. So we might consider drivers like Teemu Sunninen, Hayden Paddon, Stefan Lefebvre. We might consider other drivers, but it just depends on liveries available and a little bit of the drivers that will represent them. The drivers on here have got the asterisk next to their name. They're drivers that can be used by console drivers. So Chris Meek, Elfyn Evans and Oyt Tanak will only be available for PC drivers. All the others will be available for PlayStation or Xbox drivers. So a little bit better for console drivers this season. that's the point system we use to rank the drivers, as we just mentioned. If you want to see that table, feel free to message me, and I'll send it to you privately. The points for World Sim Rally Championship. Oh, we got a new follow. Thank you very much. To Short Stint, thank you very much. That puts us up to 282. So, yeah, exactly the same point system as it was in WRC at the time. Okay, Short Stint. Type. I'll tell you what, join our Discord. There you go. And we'll have a chat, mate. Sam. Well, see how many drivers you got. You might be able to ship one into here. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, point system exactly the same as it was back then, because we've only got 12 drivers in each category. This is the best point system to use for that. Quite traditional as well. So there we go. That's our World Sim Rally Championship. And like I mentioned, you can do this or the other one. And let's put it back to the overall calendar there, as you can see. Yep, okay, so that's pretty much everything announced now. I did that in under an hour, which is pretty good. So yeah, you got to choose one championship or the other, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be... You just joined, haven't you? I've just sent you a message. We'll have a chat after this, though. Thanks very much, Short Stint. Yeah, looking forward to working with you. Okay, yeah, so there's your season, guys. Season 2 is there. You can either drive the R5 cars or you can drive the WRC cars. It's up to you which one you take part in. If you want to represent your team, you're better off taking part in the European Sim Rally Championship. Or if you like the R5 cars, take part in the European Sim Rally Championship. But if you prefer the WRC 1721 cars, then go to the World Sim Rally Championship. Entries are going to open... Nope, that's not it. That one. Entries are going to open on the 15th of May, which is only a couple of weeks away. It will be a Google form, and we'll send it onto the Facebook group and to our Discord, and it will be on our website, of course. Of course, through that entry form, you'll be able to tell us whether you want to take part in the European Sim Rally Championship or the World Sim Rally Championship. If you go down the route of European, it'll ask you what your team name is, etc., etc. And if you go down the World Sim Rally Championship route, it'll just put in your general details. Will be all you need to do for that one. So there we go. Let's go back to that then. That's pretty much everything, guys and girls. Floor is open for any questions. Anything I need to run back through. We'll hang around for a little bit. But looking forward to this. It's going to be a very, very fun season on both ends. I kind of wish I was taking part in both. But, yeah. Oh, yes. You had a question from earlier. Yes. Sorry, Ranger. Let me see if I can scroll back to it. There we go. Every round, only top 4 drivers for the team gets points. Yeah, so... did you take... I don't think you took part in the championship last season, did you, Dennis? No. Like, last year. So, essentially, right... If teams have 6 drivers taking part in a rally, and those 6 drivers finish the rally, the top 4 drivers from the team scored the points. So not all 6 score points. It would be the top 4. So, for example, if Crest Autosport drivers finished 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 7th and 8th, only the drivers that finished 1st, 2nd, 4th and 5th will contribute points to the team. That's how that works. Not really, Sam, because there's some drivers who will leap at the opportunity to do the World Sim Rally Championship. I'm one of them, you know. And the reason I'm doing that is just because I prefer the cars, but I can still run my team on the side in the European Sim Rally Championship, because there's drivers in my team who will want to do that. Yes. And I guess the entry list will be the entry list will be open for anyone to view. So if there's any drivers you want to recruit to your team before the qualifiers come around, there you go. There you go. Marco said it. He's doing the European Sim Rally Championship, and there's other guys in our team that would be doing it. Yeah, we're able to split it. We're a big team, which helps. But yeah. Mr. Starr, can you compete in both? No, you can't compete in both championships, I'm afraid. Because I think that will drive people mad. Because it's going to be a lot of stages. It's going to be a lot. Well, I say it's going to be a lot of stages. You'll be doing up to about 20 stages. I'd say that'd be too much. And it gives, because the World Sim Rally Championship is restricted as well. Yeah. Mistake from earlier. I'm already texting my pals, which explains. Right. Okay. Yeah. So you must take part in one or the other, not both. Just to mention something as well at this point, there's not everything's set in stone yet. If there's some things that we want to apply to these championships that we haven't announced tonight, we still will. You know, we've got plenty of time until the season starts. I mean, we're months away, aren't we? 4 months away? 5 months away? Yeah, 4 or 5 months away from season starting. So, you know, there might be some things we do differently to what we've said tonight. There's plenty of time to do so. But one thing that will definitely be the thing will be the team's assortment of cars. We're doing it more randomised rather than force placing people into cars. Just makes things a bit fairer. The good thing about this championship is the WRC2 and Rally 2 cars are a lot more even than the 97-2003 cars as well. And there's basically nothing to separate the 17 to 21 WRC cars. I'm just going to see if there's anything else that needed to be mentioned. Okay. Right. Anybody got any more questions? Like I mentioned about the WRC thing earlier, if you want to see the table that kind of puts drivers into ranks, the real life drivers into ranks, that is, you can see that if you want to. Just send me a message and I'll send it to you. I think we're good then. Shout out needs to go to Marco, my co-admin at Crest Autosport. He's been integral in putting this Season 2 together and also running Season 1, so thank you to Marco. And thank you to all the drivers that have taken part in Season 1. It's been my favourite season we've ever done at Crest Autosport, bar none. I thought we hosted some good championships in 2020 and 21, but I think this one we just hosted, in my opinion, is the best. Yeah, just something different, isn't it? And yeah, it's good fun. Nostalgic, good fun, good cars, good rallies, and I'm positive this will be even better. This one will. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up then, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for everyone that's watching. Thank you to all the chatters. Thank you to all the new followers. All one of them. Yep, this is Season 2. Starts in July, last day of July. But we're going to be getting started on preparations for this during the summer. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please message me on Discord or Facebook if you want to know anything further on anything I've mentioned tonight. But we've been Crest Autosport. This is the Sim Rally Masters Season 2. Hope you like it. And we'll see you in San Remo next week. Itinerary's already out. So get practicing. And we'll see you on those stages next week. Thank you.